determine a score for the teacher candidates. Okay, why don't we stop there and open it up for some questions that you have for all of us. Yes.
Would it be beneficial to copy these documents and give these to our administrators? I don't know that our administrators will have something knows what I'm looking for.
Okay, the question was, would it be beneficial to copy it and give that to the administrators in the building? It could be helpful. I do not know what has been shared with each of the administrators in relation to that, but there should be an awareness that the MEES training is done across the state. Diane, do you want to come here too, please answer some questions?
As a former administrator, I would say yes. I would share at least the rubric with them and the explanation that the cooperating teacher's score combined with the university supervisor score is a rather high stakes issue this year. I think it's fair to say that it's going to get higher stakes as we work the bugs out of this system. A score of 24 may not seem real significant this year, but this is a baseline. This is the first time that they're using this format. So I would expect that we're going to see some changes in that as the years go on.
Now, let's put that score of 24 in perspective. If a student were to get an M score of 3 in all 9 areas, 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 from the university supervisor and 27 from the cooperating teacher would be 54, and the student is required to get at least a 24. So you see there's some room there to take the stress off. That really, even if a student were given 2 in everything, they're going to be above the cutoff score. So the cutoff is low this year, and I agree with Julie that may not last over time. But again, the idea is that it's going to be obtainable, and we're going to collect data about what the scores truly were and make decisions forward from that.
One thing I might add, just as kind of a sidebar to this, for the last, 3 years, DESE has been collecting information on how teacher candidates perform based on the different universities around the state. And I have to say, Missouri State has been one of the top universities across the state in terms of the rigor and in terms of the what is perceived as how they scored versus how they actually perform when they go into their first year of teaching, because that's all tracked through MEES. The score that the teacher candidate earns is put into a MEES system so that when they get a job, their MEES number follows them, and all of that information is tracked and collected by DESE. So you guys are already doing a great job with your teacher candidates, helping them. The university's doing a great job growing good candidates. So don't get hung up on the 24 this year. As we said earlier, this is really a high-stakes situation with the low-stakes testing year this year. But I do think it's important to go back and talk to your administrators and let them know that this is a change and there's a new way of doing things, and that it does require you and the university supervisor being able to come up with a score that is a true reflection of what the teacher candidate is capable of doing.
And I think that's what Julie just said is really, really important. If DESE sees, oh, well, everybody can make at least a 3, that's obviously, we need to expect high scores. So we need to be real about our evaluation of students' ability
there's one other thing I want to make note of TaskStream, because not everybody raised their hand that they're familiar with TaskStream. And you will be getting emails from Travis Marler, who you often get emails from in relation to TaskStream. And we'll let you know when some of the things are due, when they're in there. And so if there are questions, they come back to Travis. However, one of the things that Travis shared at the university supervisor meeting that I want to share with you so that you can add it to your form is that when you email him, he will get back with you, but he's asking that you email it to taskstream@missouristake.edu. So it's taskstream, all one word, @missouristake.edu. And the reason he's asking you to email there is because if he were not in the office, there is somebody else who is looking at those emails and can respond. Because they really want to give immediate feedback to you in terms of what the challenges you are having with TaskStream and to get it resolved for you. And that this will be the easiest way to make sure you get a response in a timely manner. Other questions? Okay, well, you will probably have questions when you get back and you start doing it. And so this team that's here today is here for you, okay? We listed the names with Diane at the top for good reason, which is the reason that I mentioned at the beginning when I introduced her, is to say that she is currently a university supervisor, and she has been a university supervisor using the MEES tool and now with the changes in the MEES tool. So what we are suggesting is if you start with an email, you can email her directly. You can CC the rest of us if you want, but just to email her. And if there are questions that she doesn't have an answer to, then she'll broaden that base. We don't want to give her too much to do, so we'll adjust if we find out that that is the case. But we want to have consistency with the answers that you're given. And we think the questions that are going to come up is when you really sit down to use the tool. Because I know with some of the university supervisors, they were talking about, I'll have the tool on one side and I'll have the rubric on another, and I'll do different things to use that. But what is required is the rubric, and that's where you're going to be scoring from, and that's where we'll go into TaskStream 2 different times at a minimum, and more than that, program dependent. And I will say, we really, really appreciate you. And I know Dean Huff opened with that, and we want to close with that. Because all of us know that without your support, without what you do for those teacher candidates, they wouldn't become the professionals that they've become in terms of being the teachers that they need to be. And you're in the trenches with them every single day. And so we welcome you on board to be a part of that in terms of the scoring that will lead to their recommendation for certification. So thank you very much. Thank you for being here. If you want more food or drink, you're welcome to that on your way out. And I think I counted that everyone signed in, but if somebody is here that didn't sign in, please come see me before you leave.